Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our podcast discussion on The Walking Dead. Today, it's actually, instead of 2 Ps in a Peggy podcast, there's 3 Ps in this podcast today, because we're joined by the lovely Noortje.
Hi.
Hi there. Who is going to actually join the discussion today, because we've got episodes 4 and 5 of The Walking Dead season 11, the final season of The Walking Dead. We don't want to dwell on that too much, so do we? So lots to talk about, and thanks once again for Reina for joining, but obviously Noortje as well for coming and being part of this today. Really appreciate it. So also a disclaimer to put out there, as most viewers know, there will be spoilers because we do talk about the episodes, so just to put that out there. Episode 4 was quite an interesting episode. Obviously we'll get your opinions on it as well. That was called Rendition. And for that episode, it was all about Daryl, really, because we know that when that crew kind of came across our crew, Daryl sort of went off somewhere with Dog, didn't he? Where's Daryl gone? Because we didn't really see him. So now it was kind of picking up with him. And of course, we find out he discovers the head of this gang, as well as Leah, who, for those of you familiar with the additional episodes of season 10, Daryl met Leah. This was not long after Rick sort of, I say disappeared because we know he didn't die. He went off in the helicopter. But in terms of Daryl and everyone that was left behind, they don't know if Rick is alive or dead. So Daryl's obviously searching for him, finds Leah, finds Dog at that point. And we were, I say, treated to that as an additional episode for season 10, when Daryl and Carol stumbled across the old sort of lodge that they shared. So very interesting that she came back to it. I mean, I wanted to get your opinions on that first. What did you think when you sort of saw Leah again? And obviously Daryl's there, and we know that he went back to that place to look for her, and she's gone.
Knowing from the additional episode that Leah and Daryl actually been in a relationship for a little bit, when he was looking for Rick, he told Leah everything about what he was doing, about his community, and everything that he was looking for. That he was looking for his brother, because that's what Rick was to him, a brother. And they've been together, only Leah gave him a choice: either you come back here and we set off together, or it stops here and I'll leave, which that's obviously what happened. So in between that, Daryl took off, and Leah was found by the Reapers, because Leah was on her own before that. She was not a part of the Reapers before. That became in between, as how she actually basically told it to Daryl when they captured him. Well, my opinions on Leah is like, I don't trust her at all. I think she's playing a game. I think she's pretending to be nice to get that intel, because she's hanging too much on that Pope guy.
Yeah.
Like a father figure kind of thing. Because he said to her, like, "Oh, you're my favorite one of all. I trust you the most." And so I think it's a little bit father-daughter kind of feels right there. So I think she's using Daryl to, get to know more about our groups. And I don't like that at all. I do not like Leah, and I do not like the Reapers. And that Pope dude just needs to shut the hell up, because that accent is doing my head in.
Absolutely hate the accent of Pope. Come on.
I don't like him. I mean, obviously he's here to play a good baddie, isn't he? I suppose, and he does, because he's not very likable, and certainly what he goes on to do at the end of the episode kind of made me have to look away from the screen a bit. But initially, I was thinking that Leah, the way she was walking around, and she had 1 or 2 guys with her, it made me think she was like the leader at one point, because she was kind of, and then of course we did see the Pope. So yeah, that was interesting, very interesting. I got a bit bored partway through that episode. I don't know if you both felt the same.
Yeah.
That can happen sometimes with these episodes, where we're just focused on one of the characters, or 1 or 2 of the characters in the same story. I mean, other people might agree.
What's wrong with you?
Pike disagrees. Reina's dog Pike disagrees. But yeah, I mean,
oh my God, he's tripping. Well, you never do this. What is wrong with you?
I better not mention that again because he obviously does disagree. But one of the things before recording the podcast, Reina and I were talking because it made me actually think back
Stop it.
to Easy Street when they put Daryl in that cage. It just made me think back to Easy Street. I don't know if you both share the same views on that.
Yeah, I was actually singing the tune in my head. I was waiting for the dog food sandwich, but that didn't came.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
No, it was literally like some sort of like, it looked like a dog cage, to be fair. Like one of them cages I've got over here. Like it looked like he was sitting in some, it was small, wasn't it? It wasn't really big. And I wondered, because there was this other dude in one of them cells, but I couldn't recall who the fuck that was, but he knew Daryl, but I was like, who is that?
Yeah, I couldn't.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, just because we trade a bag of grain doesn't mean you have anything to say or you know me. And I was like, what are you doing?
Yes, I think Daryl's trying to be a bit, well, he's obviously up to something in a way, isn't he? I don't know whether he's...
It wouldn't be Daryl if you wouldn't, but
yeah,
it's, the whole episode gave me a little bit weird vibe, like, is he actually like crossing them now? Because, you know, first it looked like he tried to protect the group, right? By telling that dude, like, I don't know you, blah, blah, blah. Basically saying, shut the fuck up. You don't know me. I don't know you. If you want to stay alive, then shut the fuck up. But then the scene after, he's telling them everybody about Gabriel is the leader, and that's the leader is a woman, which he was obviously talking about Maggie. And I'm like, why would you do that?
yeah, I was surprised at that bit.
He basically called them out.
Yeah.
Because he told them, oh yeah, they're really skilled fighters. They told him how many people they had back home. Oh, we have 2 times more dozen people than you have.
Yeah.
And we have really good fighters. Why would you want to tell the enemy how many people you've got at home? Because that's not going to turn out well, is it?
No, it was a bit weird. I mean, the bit where I was starting to fall asleep a bit was when he was talking to the Pope in that moment when he was actually talking.
Yeah, that was way too long. They say always said Negan had too much dialogue, but this dude just defeated Negan on that one, because Negan was still enjoyable to listen to because he was making jokes and you know, some sort of that. And this Pope was like one tone, one subject, annoying accent, marvelous mustache, must say. I got something with mustaches, can't help it. But for the rest of it, I was like, dude, just shut the fuck up for like 5 minutes.
That surprises me that you've got a thing for mustaches.
Really? Surprises you? Still?
No, not really. No. Yeah, because I actually did think of Simon when I saw him because of the mustache. I was just like, this is just weird. But let me ask you both this then. So obviously, when Leah and Daryl were in that room, and then you know they set it alight, don't they? And Daryl kind of like, in that moment, I was kind of like, oh yeah, I would want a strong man with me that's going to do that, that's going to like smash the window open to save me. And then obviously it turns out that was part of the whole thing of like an initiation, wasn't it? Really, of him
I already had that feeling, to be fair, because I already said they're standing outside, which obviously was the fact, but it did cross my mind to be like, Daryl's going to do something stupid and run off.
Mm-hmm.
And that would make things go even worse. But I already had a feeling that they were all set up outside and that it was a trick, because it was too perfect. Like they're sitting there, because how does a building catch fire like that with no enemies around? Like it was obviously a setup.
Yeah, I mean they put that petrol or whatever, didn't they, through the underneath the floor, and at that moment I was thinking, oh, you know, but actually knowing that it was a setup and she was part of that setup, she did risk her life in a way, because they might not have been able to have got out, and she would have
There must
Wouldn't
have
it-
been they were all standing outside, so if things did go turn wrong, they would have gotten her out
Mm,
anyways.
mm,
They probably had like a backup plan. That's what I
yeah,
do really believe. Because if
yeah,
she was his best fighter or whatever he said. So if that's true, he wouldn't have let her set aflame.
no,
She's too valuable for that man. So
yeah, true.
it was just wrong.
Yeah, no, true, but fires can spread quite fast, so it is a risk to take, isn't it?
True.
Yeah, it is a risk to take, but obviously it's a scripted TV show, so we know that if they wanted to get her out, they could get her out, I suppose. Now, obviously, later on when they're sort of catching up around the bonfire and eating food and everything, there was that sense in me that Pope was going to do something, it was building up to something, and whether you both felt the same. And then obviously when he kind of pushed that guy in the fire, that was grim. I didn't like that at all. I had to look away. What did you both think of that moment?
I was like, holy damn. I was like, damn, son. But it reminded me on Negan throwing the doctor in the oven in the sanctuary. The older
Yes.
brother, Carson,
Yeah.
who he threw in the fire, which was basically the same thing. So to me, it was another flashback to the past.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, you could see a comment because he just started rambling really weird, and I was like, he's gonna kill him. I thought he was gonna stab him in the back first because that's what he said. Like, we don't like backstabbers. So I thought he was gonna like maybe slit his throat. Did not expect him to push him in the fire. But that did take me back to Sanctuary at that point.
Yeah, that's a good point. Noortje, what about yourself? Did you feel the same? Did you think that guy is going to do something to that dude? He's going to push him in there, hit him, kick him, whatever.
Yeah, but it is just, I thought he would do something more than just push him in the fire. Like, anticlimax. Little
like maybe
flashback.
like
but
slit his throat and then push him in the
Yeah.
fire like that. Yeah,
knowing sure he's dead.
true. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it
they
was-
did not finish him off, did they? So
No.
he's gonna turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was
We
just
did
grim.
not see him actually kill the dude after he got burned.
No.
So
Unless he was burned alive, because that can happen as well.
well, yeah, but when you look at episode 5, we're going back to Hilltop. We see all these burned walkers running around.
True.
So
Yeah.
they don't die from just a fire.
Yeah, maybe not, but
Maybe he's got a fence somewhere and he's gonna put them walkers on like Sanctuary.
yeah, true. Yeah, I mean anything can happen because we've seen sleeping walkers, haven't we, as well?
Or
Yeah.
this is going to be another one of them zombies, like we said before before that we started this, being nailed on the tree with the Judas sign.
Yeah,
Because that must have been some sort this kind of situation, because he's all about God. So
Yes.
the Judas thing. So
Yes.
either they're gonna nail him on a tree with another sign on it.
Yeah, he could, couldn't he? Because it was obvious then that was who was behind that Judas Walker. Definitely, yeah.
He's got something with fire, because that's what he said. I became in the fire. I got out. I had no scratches, no discs, no burnings. So he thinks he's the Almighty. So he's definitely got something with fire.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you for your opinion. No, I'm not. Oh, he's not to do anything with the fire then?
He's obviously wanting to give it anyway. I don't know if however long Daryl's going to be there, whether
He's not going to leave anytime soon. I think Daryl is going to be the same as like. Oh, he is coming back. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not make you upset. Okay, are we friends? Okay. So no, I think Daryl's going to stay there. Stop it.
Come
For
on.
a while, like he did with the Saviors, and work from the inside out. You need to shush.
Yeah. He's wanted to be part of the podcast discussion, but
He's never done this. Why? This dude is annoying. See, this is why
I did wonder if Daryl and Leah are going to rekindle their romance, maybe?
Well, that's a good question, because that's well, obviously to do with episode 5, because was Daryl not in love with Connie?
Well, I think there was that kind of sweet connection, wasn't there, between the two of them, and of course that would be nice. And maybe, you never know, yeah, towards the end of when we finally see her again. I mean, obviously we'll come on to this for the episode 5 stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It makes me wonder if there's a bit of unfinished business with Leah, because the fact he did go back to
Maybe
find
he's a Mormon and he just marries them all at the same time.
Well, you never know. But I don't know if either of you have got anything else on episode 4 before I move on to episode 5.
See, 4 was kind of just focused on Daryl and basically giving us an insider on the Reapers, which I wasn't interested in it at all, because they're all going to die anyways. So I'm not interested in them.
Yeah.
So it was a weird episode. It was a very long 45 minutes for an episode this time. Like you said, it was boring at one point.
It was.
I totally agree. Because there are so much other things and other people we wanted to see, and then you get a focus on Daryl. And I am not a Daryl person at all. Never have been. I've not liked him since the first episode he got in there. I think, and I'm sorry for the Daryl and the Norman Reedus fans over here right now that are listening, but I think Daryl is overrated. So I really think so. He became bigger than it was supposed to be. I'm not a Daryl fan. Like, I wouldn't shed a tear if he dies. Really.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a long episode, really, for just him. Obviously, yes, he is popular with a lot of people,
and that's why they do it, because they want the viewers to stay. So they're putting their favorites in there. Which who are they? Maggie, Negan, Daryl.
Yeah.
Just give me 4 episodes of Negan and I'll be happy. You know?
For sure. Now we'll move on to episode 5, which is obviously this week's episode. So this one's called Out of the Ashes. Very appropriate in view of what we saw last time, but it didn't cover that. But I thought the title was quite good in that way, but also because of Hilltop. But we'll come on to that. So we had more people back for this episode, which was great because there was more action, and it kept my attention more than the previous episode for that reason. As mentioned on other podcast discussions, there's like Crew A, so those are the guys that are kind of out on the road. Negan, Maggie at the moment is just the 2 of them. Obviously we saw Gabe as well come in towards the end. We've got Crew B at the Commonwealth, and then Crew C back at Alexandria, but we did also get to see Hilltop as well. So I'm going to start with Crew B, because for me that was probably the most entertaining when that cheesy promo video came on. I don't know what you thought about that, but how wonderful the Commonwealth was. Now there was something for me, because we've already said about these throwbacks to previous episodes and the fact that they're doing this throughout, which is great because we can talk about it. It makes us remember things from previous episodes and series. Reina, you spotted something, a correlation with something else in terms of this Commonwealth community that I didn't spot. Noortje, you may have other views on it as well. And then for me, there was some link to Terminus. Now, you might think I'm crazy saying that, but it was when in the video, and I've written it down, he mentions about when they assign jobs based on their skills, and it's to keep the community thriving. And I know they didn't say thrive at Terminus, but it was those who arrive, survive. And it was just
it was the flag hanging there that says kill the dead, save the living. That was the Terminus throwback.
Yes.
They had flags over the whole country, over the whole place saying that.
Yes.
And I do understand why you would say that's the Terminus, because the Terminus said basically the same. All who sanctuary for all who arrive.
Yeah, those who arrive survive.
Yes, and that was basically the same thing that they were stating in there.
Yeah.
Now, when I saw that video, first of all, is this still The Walking Dead? Are we still having the right program? So I was quite out of the blue, because we just had pretty a heavy thing before that. And suddenly it turns all red and with a circle in the middle and it starts spinning and be like, la 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 la. It's like Telcel freaking selling program. And I was like, what is this? So when I looked at the streets in the clip, and even after that, when Eugene's walking through it, there's one thing that popped back up in my mind, and it's immediately what I saw was Woodbury. Because Woodbury had the same system as the Commonwealth. They had a community that was safe and that had guards everywhere on the corner to keep normal life, because they had a neighborhood party in the Woodbury. Remember, they had a big barbecue going on.
They did, and I forgot about all of that until you said it, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, you know.
The first store that the governor brings Andrea in is an ice cream store, and what's the first thing that Eugene is doing is eating ice cream with sprinkles.
Oh, Eugene.
Which that must have tasted so nice after so long. But we are then, first of all, we're in a cake shop, and I'm looking at their donuts and thinking, I need them. And then Yumiko finds her brother.
Yeah.
And her brother says, this place is absolutely real, even more than that.
Yeah.
See, me and Noortje, we discussed the episode a little bit last night, thinking, what did you think about that? And we both said, we've never seen something that felt so fake as the Commonwealth.
It does feel very fake, doesn't it? Which is that whole big question, which I was going to come to at the end.
I also think is the way that we think that it's fake is because we already went through this before with Woodbury. That was fake because the governor had his freaking zombie daughter in a cage in his freaking office.
I know, but the question I was going to pose was, is it too good to be true?
I think it is. I think something is wrong with that place. It's too good to be true. It can't be like that.
Yeah.
And even with, Stephanie and Eugene sitting there discussing, eating ice cream, and Eugene goes, oh, do they have Rocky Road flavor? That made me laugh.
Yeah.
But then I think with Stephanie, I think I'm pretty safe saying she's real because
I still don't know.
She helped Eugene out, but then she did not cover for him when they arrested him. So I was a bit.
Exactly.
But then she also is on trial now. But
she is apparently. Yeah, apparently she is. There's something about it. You know that guy that came in. What was his name? Mr. Hornsby from the cheesy.
Oh, the one from the video.
Oh, dang.
He reminds me of the actor from Better Call Saul. The hairdo. It was so. I was like, who has that hairdo in this age? That was fake as fuck already.
Well, my mind went to this place of, I'm still on the fence with Stephanie, and it even made me wonder if those two were together at one point in my mind, because I was thinking, yes, I know she offered to help Eugene, but then he got arrested, didn't he? Which could have been bad luck. It could have just been bad. I'm just skeptical about her, and I'm sorry.
I think it's bad luck because she did say because it's going to take 5 weeks. Could have just been years to get help, and Steffi's like, oh, but I know a way around it. And he did make contact with Alexandria.
Yes.
But I don't know. I never trust a dude with a hairdo like that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and can I just say as well, because I know I keep mentioning about his plait, but this time, did you see he had beads in it? And I thought, oh, he's put little pretty beads in it because he's gone on a date with Stephanie.
Oh, Eugene, yeah, just colored things. And maybe they're just trying to make it less fake.
Oh my God, no, just cut it off. Just cut it off, yeah.
He just took one off, put the other one on. Come on.
Yeah, true. We want the mullet back. Maybe we can do a hashtag saying, get Eugene's mullet back.
Yeah.
Because it looks better than what's got now.
Bring back the mullet.
Yuki, what's her name again?
Stephanie? Yumiko.
Oh, Yumiko, that one.
Yeah.
She seems to be really feeling at home, and that's in the community, doesn't she? Like her brother, and
Yes.
she's obviously getting a high job because she had a special letter, didn't she? And
Yes.
when she pointed out the letter, the dude stood up and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm here to your service." So I'm wondering, is this going to be something political?
Yeah, it could be, couldn't it, to do with the rules? Because again, rules came up again when she was talking to her brother, and we found out that even though he's a baker in the Commonwealth, he's actually a surgeon, but he doesn't want to be a surgeon, does he? There's obviously a reason why. He wants to live his happy life, and that's okay with him. And that's when Yumiko said, which is why I kind of posed the question to you, and I wrote it down here, is this place really as good as it seems? And then her brother says, anything is possible as long as you follow the rules.
See, that doesn't sit right with me, because just what you just said, he's actually a surgeon and he doesn't want to be a surgeon, which breaks me back and makes me think about them walkers in the body bags in the sewers.
Yeah.
Like, is this something going on, like with the governor, with Milton, that they were doing tests for a cure somewhere in the basement? Because the governor did this before, didn't he, with Milton, and he wanted to do Andrea with that as well.
Yeah, that could be, couldn't it?
That's because there's no way in hell that in all those years, because what is going to be like 15, 17 years down the line now since the first outbreak that happened, that there suddenly are going to be body bags in a sewer that's not rotten and still whole. There's something is up with that. So because why does he not want to be a surgeon? What's going on if you are a surgeon?
Yeah. There is something else to be discovered there, I think, even if it's to do with him, but there feels like it's something bigger, doesn't it? Like, you're absolutely right.
It didn't sit right with me. And then also one thing that made me think was when Ezekiel opened his letter and said, "I'm going to be a zookeeper." So do they have tigers and stuff in there? And is he going to get a Shiva back? Or what kind of animal can they possibly still have there? Because Daryl mentioned a couple of seasons ago that wildlife is nearly all gone. There aren't any wildlife left a lot.
No, it's interesting. And when they were all getting they had their envelopes and they were finding out what job they've been assigned to, with the exception of Yumiko, who's obviously going to be higher in some other way, but also where they would be living. It kind of makes you think, because when Ezekiel, you're right, when he said that about looking after the animals, I was thinking, oh, he's going to stay because he loved doing that and he would do that, but he was with the rest of them in terms of trying to navigate around it, because like Eugene said in his unique way about avoiding the entanglement or something that creates. It was never going to be. I was
actually surprised by that, the fact that Eugene was the one like, this is not where we came from, we need to go home, because Eugene normally would have been the one like, I'm staying, it's safe in here. So for him to step up and be like, this is not the plan and this is not why we came here, we can't stay here. I have to give him credits for that, because normally he would have been the one that said, oh, I'm not going to go back, it's safe in here. But with the zoo, I'm thinking, is it actually animals that are keeping in the zoo?
I know what you're thinking. It may be walkers.
That's what I'm thinking. I think they have an amusement park around them zombies or something, because you can't find no tigers anymore. They're all gone, because Shiva was the last one, because Ezekiel mentioned this.
He mentioned that, yes.
The deer, which the terrible effects that we've seen in season 7, they ain't gonna do them. So I'm thinking zookeeper. I think it is dressed up walkers in animal suits.
It could be, and that could be one of the dark twists to this.
I think it's going to be something, because what was the night out in Woodbury? It was people fighting to death with walkers. And just because I have this whole flashback of Woodbury all over again, this dude that's too good to be true, being like, hey, come in here, we got ice cream, we got this, we got that. And then that's like a cheesy version of the governor for me. with this happy town that people seem to be too happy. It's just with the woman who ordered 7 ice cream cones. I mean, hello.
They are, well,
Give
yes,
me one.
yes, it is very much that. But I guess, so remove yourself as being a viewer at the moment. And if you were in that situation and then you suddenly discovered that town, yes, we know, we can feel there's something not quite right. It's a bit too good to be true. But would that make you think, as a survivor of the apocalypse, and you've suddenly got this community that's almost similar to normal life, would you be more tempted to stay, or would you be, no, I've got my family
I wouldn't,
and I'm going back?
Because if, let's say, we've been in this situation since day one, so we're gonna start at season 1, and we've been in there from that moment as survivor. We've been through the Woodbury, we've been through the Terminus, we've been through all them places that seem to be the perfect place to stay, even Alexandria at that point. What did all happen with them? They all fell, burnt down, all was too good to be true. So if I already had 15 years on the go, on the street, on walking around, trying to survive, and I come across a community like that again, I think I would walk away, because I think I'm better off in the woods than in, again, being locked down in this town.
Yeah.
Not knowing anyone. If you were with a group that you've been traveling with for years, and you know what everyone can do, how everyone is with each other, and then you come into a strange place again, I don't think I wouldn't even want to go in there at that point. See, I wouldn't even make it through the first week, let's be honest with that. But you know, I think I wouldn't. It's because it's been 15 to 17 years if you look at the time zone, with, because Judith was a baby. She's now what, 11? We had 2 seasons without Judith, 2, 3 when Laurie died. So that's
prison,
at least 15 years. So nah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
It's, and also, even though there's all those nice things and it's like, oh yeah, that takes me back to how things were, because they've all managed to survive through bad times. I guess the realization that there's other things that are more important than the material stuff. So
see, you hear that a lot, don't you, in real life, that people that crash with a plane and they stuck in the woods for years before they get saved, that they can't go back to normal civilization anymore, and they end up living back in the woods. I think that would be more true story than going back. Like, because where did they get all the stuff from? How did they build that up?
I was wondering that.
Because they are in the middle of nowhere. It's not always been there before. So where did they get it from? Who did they kill to get what they have?
Yes.
I mean, because it's too much colorful. It's too colorful and too cheery. It looks like a fun fair down there.
It is very colorful, and I think that cheesy video was very appropriate to put in to give that immediate sense of, oh god, yeah, because it was, wasn't it, utter cheese, but it did make me smile. Also, I noted down that Princess had a bit of a flirt with
Mercer.
Yeah.
But was it a flirt, or was it a decoy? Because he was supposed to go into the building that Stephanie and the others were in at that moment.
Yeah, I think
but it looked like Mercer had a little bit of touchy feeling for Princess right there.
It did, yeah. I think her intention was to kind of deflect him, but I think, there might have been a little bit of a glimmer in his eyes.
I loved how happy she was. She's like, I'm gonna work into a store. She was so happy.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
No, she was definitely not like flirting. I think he legit thinks she was, because he was battering his eyelashes like that. Like,
yes.
I think she wasn't, but I'm, you know what? They could end up together, you know? I wouldn't be surprised.
No, me neither.
Yeah, you never know. Now, poor Eugene getting arrested. I know we've kind of touched on it, but it was interesting when that guy said it was for unauthorized use of government property and it was communication with a foreign entity.
Yeah, like he was calling to Mars. What are we talking about here?
I know. I just thought that was, so they are very much in that kind of community, aren't they? Without we don't want to know about anything going on out there because we're just.
No, they don't want to know, but yet you just let 5 people that are the other entity into your community.
Let them in. Yeah. I know. Crazy. I'd noted down questions for you. With that Mr. Hornsby, can they trust him? Was one of the questions.
No.
I think that there is a link somehow with Stephanie, but I don't quite know what. But that's just my.
He's too cheesy. He's too cheesy. I don't trust people with a haircut like that and are too cheesy.
Yeah.
And he has no mustache. Never trust a man with no mustache.
But it's weird because he was the one that came in and was like saying let them go, so it seemed like he had more authority than that other guy that was in there at that time, and then they all
probably he's probably the governor's younger brother or something.
Oh yeah, you never know. I mean,
dang.
Yumiko found her brother back after all these years, so who says that's not going to be the governor's little brother?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Now I'd also mentioned, like, would you be tempted to stay there? I think we have covered that. But would there be any part of you that would be tempted? Or
I would stay for a day just to, fill up my belly, get some supplies in my bag, get a good night's sleep on a soft bed, eat ice cream, and just, find a dude for a night or something. Just
with a mustache.
Yeah. With a mustache, yes. And then just get out. No, I think I would stay for a day, check it out, just get some inside information to tell back home, be like, just like, this is so cheesy, that man with that hairdo, don't go there. And just, enjoy life for one day. Yeah. And I'll just get the hell out of there.
And then go, so you'd have an exit strategy then, really, with it all. Yeah.
I would eat cake. Lots of them cakes, if he doesn't drop them on the floor, of course. But, they look good.
Of course. Same with you, Noortje?
Yeah, I think I would stay maybe 1-2 days just to get my energy up so I could fight those walkers again and get back to my family.
Yeah. Recharge that battery. Because everybody is starving.
Absolutely, yeah. There would be a curiosity that would keep me there. But I think in the back of my mind, I'd be feeling a bit unsettled because it's not the norm that I've been used to for so long. But yeah, absolutely right. Stock up on the food and the cake. Get the sugar rush going on, and then out of there.
Coma.
Food coma. Come on. Yeah.
Sugar high. Right. So that's the Commonwealth. Now we've obviously got. I'll save Alexandria till last. So we'll go back to Crew A, who, so that's Negan and Maggie, and then Gabe later on. So we know that at the end of episode 3, Negan and Maggie kind of went off because they left Alden in the church. They've gone off, and they're going to have to be working together as a team to get through it. And there's still that beef between them, but not from Negan's side. It's all from Maggie, isn't it? Because she's very much against him, but yet more than happy to let him save her life. But
that really shimmered through this episode, didn't it? That he was trying to make it work.
Yes.
And she didn't. And then I must say he has some very fast reflexes if it comes to throwing knives.
Yep.
I was like, damn.
That was impressive.
I was like, what the? Okay.
I mean, with his age and still be that fast?
Yeah.
I hope I'm that fast at that age.
Sign up for that. I will sign up for that fast
absolutely.
For that age.
But there was a little bit of a connection with them too, with when they were like killing them walkers, and there was one that they killed together. He just went through the head, she went from underneath. And it felt like they came a little bit close to each other, and I did not like that feeling.
No.
But at the same time, it was like, maybe they are gonna get along. But then knowing how Maggie is, they probably won't. And then they come in this cabin and they have this discussion about we need to stay and we need to leave. And I agree with Negan saying, let's give it to sundown and we need to leave, because if them creepers come up us, we're dead, because it's only the two of us.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna let my life go away because of you. Like, you want to survive, I want to survive. And then she's like, but I'm gonna survive, not despite of you, blah blah blah. And I'm like, bitch, just fall off a cliff.
Yeah, she's just I can't wait until her storyline ends, to be honest.
So I feel you completely, because like we said in a couple of episodes before, it's getting old now, Maggie. Come on, like, did you guys have no ideas writing the script anymore what to do with Maggie's role, and just wanted her to come back because she was a big fan favorite?
Yeah.
Or what did you do with this? Because she
Yeah.
has no asset at all in this show, is my opinion. Like, Negan even said, you have Herschel to look after too. I thought she was gonna punch him in the face saying that.
Yeah, I thought, yeah, I felt the same. But when he was saying about leaving, because it's like, well, no, I'm going to take the supplies back to Alexandria. That's quite a noble thing, because he's thinking about the people back there that haven't got
Absolutely.
food.
Yeah.
And then it's still, oh no, and then they have this scuffle. But as we discussed, a bit of sexual tension maybe between
Especially
them.
with that fight. I thought if Gabriel didn't drop in, they would have kissed each other. 100%.
I thought so too. I was like, no, don't let it happen.
For the first time in my life, I was happy that Gabriel actually busted in.
Yeah. The one time you were happy. Yeah.
But I think, yeah, that whole kind of pushing and shoving, that kind of hate, but almost the underlying, perhaps the underlying tension. And then you have that scuffle, and then you suddenly come together. Yes, it was the perfect time when Gabe and that other guy came in. But then Gabe, once again, on the bandwagon with, oh, yeah, we need to wait. Oh, all right then. So Negan's been overruled again.
The
by
way
that.
how Negan was standing in the corner after that, Gabriel mentioned we need to stay, that was pure disappointment.
Yeah.
He was like, but I think Negan is right. I mean, those Reapers are on their heels.
Mm,
They probably know the environment a lot better than that they do.
yeah.
Hi, you're getting the sun in my screen. They need to leave, because if they're now just four of us, Gabriel is wounded, already had to be brought in by someone else.
Mm.
I mean, are we just going to leave everybody in a church on their own now in every episode? Like, Gabriel next?
But he's so far at Maggie's backside, isn't he?
Oh man, I mean, maybe
Really?
they need to get a couple and become a couple and just jump off a cliff together, like a la Titanic.
Well, yeah. An interesting thing that Maggie had said before, when it was just her and Negan, was, how long would you want someone to wait for you? Now, again, put yourself in that situation, you know, and you're thinking, right, so the group is scattered, which quite often happens, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And then you find a safe place. But how long would you wait thinking that those people will find you? It's not like they arranged to meet at that cabin, was it? I certainly missed it if that was the case. But
I think that's the same.
Daryl's off somewhere else. I mean, you don't know how long they're going to be. So how long would you wait?
See, I think that's an interesting question. It's just, you know, with how long would you stay at the Commonwealth? I think I would stay, rest up just for a couple of hours and leave. I wouldn't stay too long at one place.
Yeah.
Because you can better have 3-hour rest in that house and continue walking until the next building and get a rest of 3 hours there. But at least you have that little you're a little bit up front of them. Like they don't walk in on you because you keep moving, even if there's 2-3 hours of rest in between. They probably need rest too, because nobody is gonna walk. Dan moet je nu doen. Oh, okay. Well, goodbye.
Kids.
I totally do not understand why you busted in telling me I need to get ready for swimming classes, but I'm already ready. Did not make sense, bro. No, Daddy will be home soon. Don't stress. Okay.
I love how we've got guest appearances on this podcast today. podcast with the kids. I love it.
My dog has an opinion. Now my son comes in asking about swimming classes.
Yeah.
They had study day today. So they've
Timing.
been home all day, and I did not know that they had a study day.
Yeah.
So they've not been to school today or yesterday because of study days. But what was I? Right.
So this is waiting, recharging, but moving on.
Yeah, because you still have that advantage of that couple of hours in front of them. And because they can't walk for 6-7 hours straight, so they have periods that they need to rest. And as soon as they rest, you're moving. So you keep that distance in between. So I think what they're doing right now is the worst day ever, because I think really like next week they are going to be in that building. That's my feeling. That's really the feeling that I have. And Negan will go, I told you so.
Yep.
Because I have a feeling we are losing a major character next week. And I also have a feeling that I know who it is.
Oh, okay. So that's a prediction coming up then.
I think next episode is the last episode of Gabriel. I really have that feeling.
I wouldn't be disappointed if
I
that's
wouldn't.
okay.
But it's because they near the water tower. And I know there's gonna be one with the water tower death. And it has to be Gabriel, because it was supposed to be what was his name? Ezekiel, but he's in Commonwealth, so it can't be Ezekiel. So it has to be Gabriel. But this is what I think. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen, of course, but I have a feeling there's a major death coming up next week. I'm just having this feeling. Put that back. That's from your dad. Put it back on the fridge, please.
That other guy that came in with Gabe, I don't know his name, but the other guy, minor character probably, I don't know, but I was thinking, maybe they'll get into the house and they'll kill him, and then that'll be like a way of Negan saying, we gotta go now.
I think Negan saves the day.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting with that, won't it? But definitely the tension continues between him and Maggie, but Maggie just needs to get over it. And if that's got to come through having a kiss with him,
please don't. I'd rather have him with socks in the woods with Alpha. I'm sorry, I had to bring that up. I'd rather have another scene of that. I'd rather watch that on replay than him kissing Maggie.
He's been with Alpha, now he'll be with Maggie. Yeah,
he's a man whore.
A bit of one, wouldn't he? Yeah, no, definitely. Now going to the other crew and Alexandria, and of course we mentioned Negan, so Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Of course, his son was in this episode. Gus as the little kid walker that those boys were tormenting at Alexandria. So I just wanted to mention that first, and I actually thought he did a really good job. He was only in it for a bit, wasn't he? But I actually thought that was quite good.
Yeah, all credits to Gus Morgan. Oh my god, he nailed that. Knowing the story that a couple of years ago he was with his father on a Walker Stalker cruise, getting zombie makeup, and fainted because he thought he looked so scary. And then now, a couple of years later, standing there as a walker in an episode, going behind his father's footsteps. I think that's amazing how he has grown from always being interested in zombies but fainting the first time to now sitting in that chair for hours just to become that walker. He's the same age as my daughter. I can't see my daughter do that. So thumbs up for you, Gus, really.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But the boys that were, and I know this is fiction, they're characters, but when Judith pulled that knife on that one, I was thinking, just stick it in him. I was just
me too.
I can't be doing with anything like that. They were real nasty little boys, weren't they? And I just thought
it did really hurt me what they said. Like, I had a lot with my father, like, everyone has abandoned you. That's why your mother left you. Your mother has abandoned you, and then her being at that moment being like, no, she hasn't. Ever say that again, or try and say it again, because I will stab you. And then walking away, and you see that little girl just crack,
just break. Yeah.
And then she goes into that house, and then Carl's handprint that she made when they first got to Alexandria was broken. I think the dude did it. The same one, he did it. I tell you, he did it.
I think he did it as well.
But
Yeah,
he was
me
just
too.
too afraid of her with the knife. And then she's sitting there and crying. She's like, everyone is dead. And I was like,
I started to tear up. Yeah.
yeah, I did. And I don't cry a lot during The Walking Dead. I don't. I only had one crying moment in the whole 11 seasons. You all know which moment that was. But this one,
Simon?
Maybe.
but this one actually got to me because of the bullying part. Because I have kids who are being bullied. I've been bullied a long time in my life.
Mhm.
So that hit a personal note.
Yeah.
Thinking,
I think.
you live in this circumstances. This is all you have is each other. And still there is some jackass there that finds it necessarily to bully someone. And I'm like, there's walkers breaching through your windows, but you have to bully a little girl that's probably killed more people and walkers than that little turd did.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Definitely.
No, that hit me personal, and that made me cry. And for the first time, I actually liked Rosita, because she was like, I was taught that way, and we are still here, and cheering her up, and then fixing the board. For the first time in the whole Walking Dead universe, that I actually liked Rosita.
Yeah.
Yep.
She did come across well at that point, and I think the strength that Judith showed when she was strong towards the boy, but like you say, when she walked away, you could see the emotion, and that kind of continued. But it just shows how much she's had to fight. And of course, before she went over to the boys, she was kind of doing like fighting school, wasn't she? She was teaching them all with their
that was so cute. That was the cutest
I thought that
thing
was
ever.
really good. But yes, there was another thing. So before all of that happened, but I had to just mention that with the segue to Gus, obviously. But we finally see Jerry back, because we didn't know what happened to Jerry. But of course, he goes to the toilet. Maybe that was something we didn't really need to hear. But of course, he then notices the walker. We know the walls are down then. So it's like panic station. Let's go and sort it. And as they're all kind of scarpering out, there was a guy on the floor that a walker was obviously eating, and his guts were out, and that was a throwback for me to Spencer.
Yes,
Negan,
you caught on of it. Yep, absolutely. You know why? Because it had the same beard as Spencer and the same haircut.
Right, well, all I just saw was the guts, and I was thinking
you just did have guts.
And that was
Come on.
I was sitting here like that. Like, I've never been so wrong in my whole life. You did have guts.
And that was actually, I mean, the look of Negan at that time wasn't my favourite look, compared to how he looks now. But that was, of course, at Alexandria, wasn't it? That all happened at Alexandria. So it was very much, took me back to that. Of course, we've got Aaron, who he'd woken up beforehand, because it started off with him in the woods, but we find out it was a nightmare that he was having. And of course, there's a throwback to other villains, wasn't there, with the wolves, with the saviors, with the whistling, and
the whisperers. Woodbury Soldier. I saw Woodbury Soldier, the Claimers, the motorbike gang, the wolves. Terminus was one in there.
Oh, I didn't spot the Terminus one.
The Terminus one was in there. And then we had Negan's whistle with a savior. That was the one with the beanie on.
Yes.
And we had a whisperer.
Yes. Yeah. So it's weird, isn't it? Because he was in that dream nightmare. He was being surrounded and then obviously got. But how it then kind of transpired, his actions later on in the episode, it kind of makes you think, is he doing that because he's at a place now of zero tolerance for anything, because of fear or because of anger, because of how things have gone? He's very much wanting to protect Alexandria, as their home, and Grace, of course.
Yeah, I think it had more to do with his daughter. I don't think he was thinking at that moment in the Alexandria kind of way, because he's all been talking about was Gracie was starving. I
Gracie.
need to keep Tracy safe. I think it was all about his daughter at that point, which he stole from the Saviors and is not actually his daughter. So let's not talk about that. But that's something I never stood behind. That they just took babies out of the sanctuary and then saying Negan is bad.
Well, of course, they go to Hilltop, and that was the first time we've seen Hilltop since the Whisperer War, when the fire obviously engulfed it. And, you know, there is, again, it's a carcass like Alexandria. That's just not recognizable from how we were first introduced to it.
Made me sad see that mansion where Gregory resigned in being like the state that it is now. I was like, oh my God, there's nothing left of it.
Yeah, very much a shell. And then there's obviously the walkers that are there that were their own people that they then had to
they recognized
but bit of a potentially controversial thing. We'll get your views on it. So then they see these walkers that are kind of like, you know, going around in a circle, and it's like, that's a bit weird. They're being herded by a whisperer, so it's like, oh God, there's a whisperer back. And they find out it's a guy called Keith, isn't it? Who Lydia kind of knew, but she didn't remember fully. But they take him down to the cellar, and then we discover there's more people down there. And at first I was thinking, oh, is this people seeking refuge? But no, they're actually more whisperers. And Jerry finds his wife's scarf there, which kind of makes him angry, because it's like, well, these people were actually in Alexandria, so they're the ones. You know.
That answered the question though, because you know we never seen Nabila die, so now we know she's dead.
So it's that kind of thing, that rage that went inside of him. Oh, these are the people that are behind all of this.
Yeah, because didn't they not have kids? Did Jerry not have 2 kids?
I think so. Yeah.
So where did the kids go?
Don't know.
Because we've not seen them. We've seen all the kids except for Jerry's kids.
And is his wife dead, or is she just somewhere else?
It must be, because they were, like what we said earlier, is like, this is Nabila's scarf. They are the one that burned our house down. They were in my house. So I think Jerry's family is dead.
Right, from that. Right, yeah.
His kids and his wife.
That's quite,
Because he always was the humorous faction, wasn't he, from the group? But that humor, we haven't seen that of Jerry in a while.
No, a bit more serious. But Aaron is obviously more so on that angry side, isn't he? And Lydia was very much kind of not wanting him to do things. Carol obviously came in the end when this guy was being tortured, because there was a bit of a scuffle, wasn't there, down there in the cellar? And those other whisperers, to use that term, they kind of were trying to fight back, and they sort of scarpered, and then they got like Keith again, and then obviously strung him up, and then there was that walker Aaron was using like a bit of a toy, wasn't he? Kind of like,
I was thinking what was sticking out of that walker's belly, because I thought, is that something you put on his hand now? Or what is it? It looked like tentacles from an alien.
It looked like a couple of knives or something, but it was a bit
looked weird, like horns, or like, I don't know. It was weird. I was looking at that the whole time because that caught my eye. Never seen anything like that before.
Oh, I can't. Noortje, I don't know if you're. Is it on mute? I can't hear you.
I think she has difficulties. Hello, everybody. Let's go to the commercial. Let's put in the clip of the Commonwealth right now.
Yes, it's a circle spin. How wonderful it is. Yeah. We'll see if she can get audio back. It's showing okay at this end.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm back. No, I can't hear anything. What is this?
You can't hear anything.
You can't hear us, no?
Yeah.
Huh.
Sound is back. Yay.
Right. I could see you were saying something, weren't you? So, yes.
Yeah, about the thing that was sticking out of the walker.
I thought it was something you pick up hay with
It was too big
the
for that. 'Cause
stables.
are that not like three, like equal looking prongs?
Yeah,
This was
you
more
have
like,
them in 2 and in 3.
but
Ah,
it
You use
looked
them
like
for the
horns.
horses to pick up the hay.
maybe it was something like that then.
I don't know. I'm
But
gonna look
because
that
he
up.
was holding like a stick and there were 2 pointy things out of the walker. So
There was, yeah,
one
yeah,
thing that I thought it was possible to use.
yes. It
It
could
looked
be,
weird.
'cause, yeah, he was like, and then
He was just
oh, it was horrible. And then he bit his hand, didn't he? And it was like,
Yeah, his fingers.
he
up.
lost his fingers.
hmm. But do you think in that moment that Aaron was right to be doing that in that moment, not what we found out afterwards, but in that
No.
moment, do you think he was right? Because
No.
No.
part of me was thinking, I don't know if I trust that whisperer guy or not. He says he's not, you know. They're just
I
trying to-
understand why, because first of all, he's already lied to him because he was alone, and then there's people in the cellar. So I
Yeah.
know, I get that, but knowing Aaron and what we've seen of him in previous seasons, he was always the one like, no, we need to talk, we need to find other solutions. Violence is
Yeah.
not the way.
Yeah, especially that.
And then him doing an act like that was quite shocking to me, because he didn't even do that with, when they captured the Saviors or anyone else. And I mean, Saviors killed his boyfriend, for fuck's sake.
Mm.
And now, yeah, I don't think it's justified what he did. I do understand the reasons why, but it's not the Aaron that we love, we got to know. It's like everybody's getting so dark. Like they're saying it's gonna be the darkest season ever because it's also, the final season. But do they mean darken because it's everyone's gonna die, or do they mean dark because everyone is starting to change?
Well, it could be that. I mean, I guess it's like, yeah, this number of years we've been going at it, things keep getting destroyed. How much more can we take? We've got no food left. I mean, whether it's just that simple thing that's pushing people more into that place, they're losing people. I don't know.
I mean, you get grumpy when you're hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get a bit hangry, as they say.
Yeah.
angry.
Bit hungry, but yeah, it could be that, couldn't it? And I suppose if they've got others to protect, like children or just other family members and friends that they're close to, that, well, it is a family, isn't it? Because they've been with each other for so long, and there are still kind of enemies out there all the time. So I guess that could try your patience after a while, day in, day out. And then when you think, oh, we're finally protected, we've got the walls back up, the walls come back down, and it's like, oh, so they can't relax, can they, at any moment? And that must be a difficult environment to live in when you put yourself in that same boat. You've got the strength, I suppose, because you've been fighting. You know what to do if a walker comes along now, because you've done it for so many, like how many walkers have you killed? But actually it's that sense of, right, we just want to try and be a bit normal, but not cheesy normal like the Commonwealth. Maybe.
I think that's a good question for this week's episode is was Aaron's action justified?
Yeah.
I think that's a good one.
Was his action justified? But also, because Carol kind of intervened, didn't she, by shooting the arrow into the walker, so he couldn't carry on doing that. But we do find out at the end, as this guy's trying to prove himself, that he was then able to say, we saw a girl coming out of the cave, which is obviously Connie. So there is that hope. Now we know she's alive, but obviously for them, there is that hope. Oh, Connie's out there somewhere. So that kind of did make me think, oh, okay, that guy's proved himself. But can we that little bit?
He knew that all along, that Connie was still alive. Why didn't he not say that first moment that they captured him? Why did he wait until he was cut loose, His fingers were gone. He lost his arm.
Exactly. So that's why I suppose asking that question of can we trust that little group of whisperers, former whisperers that are still being whisperers, if you like, can we trust them, or are they forming their own little gang to survive? Because everybody's doing it to survive. Even we've spoken about this before with the saviors. If we were following the saviors from the beginning, they would be the heroes, you know, because they're just trying to survive. But this little group, I suppose, these little group of whisperers that have survived everything that they've been through, are they not just trying to do the same thing? But
Exactly.
do we trust them? Do we trust them? Because they could go back to Alexandria and cause more trouble, surely, if they've done that before.
Yeah.
I'm quickly going to mute myself. My husband just came home and I need to ask him a question about dinner. So
Okay.
I'll be right back in a second.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like a commercial break now.
Pretend that there's elevator music playing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We did this last week because my the data on my phone went, so it was kind of, and then my battery died. Well, I say it died, it kind of went down. Just had to plug it in, and it went black for a while. So it was kind of like, commercial break. But it's very interesting. I don't know what you think, Noortje, about that group, that small group of whisperers. For me, the fact that they just left them there, it was a kind of a noble kind of act, and also for Carol to give them some food, wasn't it, to kind of be like, well, here you go, you know, look after yourself. But can we really trust them?
I don't know. At one side, I want to trust them, but on the other side, I don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. They are whisperers. You never know what they will do.
Precisely. Yeah. And
You never know.
You never know. No, exactly. But I guess the same could be said for a lot of people that they would come across who are not part of their group. It's almost like, well, now because of what we've been witnessing and what we've experienced with these other groups, can we trust anybody we come into contact with? It's quite hard, isn't it, to actually discern that. And I think I would feel the same in that situation, because I would want to give people a chance, because you think, well, if they're surviving like I'm surviving, it's better if we come together. But then the other side is, you know, if we let you in and then you cause like mayhem for our community, I would blame myself for that as well. So it's difficult. Yeah. It is difficult. So the other question I had, so it was about Keith, which we've kind of covered, and can we trust them? One of the things I also noted down was in relation to Connie, but I guess with Reina, get her opinion as well, is whether we are going to see Connie before episode 8, because of course then we're going to have a little break before the next set of episodes, aren't we? So it'll almost be like mid-season finale, the first third. I'd like to think that we will see her. I don't know if you think we will, or if they'll leave it on a bit of a cliffhanger about whether she will be found.
I sure hope we will see Connie again, especially for her sister. Yeah, but I don't know. She was a whisperer, so it's like double.
Yeah.
I am back. Elevator music stops.
We've just been talking about trusting that small group of whisperers.
Yeah.
And if you can, because obviously they're trying to survive, and you know, Carol obviously gave the food, but knowing that they've been to Alexandria before, there's a risk, isn't there, that they could come back again? But there's a risk with everybody that they meet that's not part of their group.
May I give my honest opinion on this?
Yes,
yeah, sure.
Kill them all.
Okay.
I don't think they can be trusted. But then, as I was
Kill
just
it with fire. Send them to the Pope.
But not only fire. They're gonna need more to actually kill them.
No, I think kill them all, because you know what? The biggest thing that could happen is that they get more people or find more survivors, become a big group again, and just become a big threat again.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If they
That's
were
why-
to be trusted, then why didn't they not knock onto Alexandria's gates
Yes.
before?
That's why I
Yeah.
was surprised that Carol kind of prevented, because I actually thought Aaron was going to go all the way with it. I thought he'd given him chance to tell the truth. He's given him chances and he hasn't. I thought he was going to go all the way with it. And he would have
Yeah.
done, wouldn't he? He would have done.
He would
If
have.
Carol wasn't there, he would have.
Yeah, yeah.
Dang you, Carol.
Now I'll ask you this, Reina, because obviously I've got to mention Simon. Like, I know we've mentioned him before, but if he was part of the survivors, you know, if he joined our group, if you like, and he was part of that, but knowing what Simon is like as a character, and if he was in Aaron's position, would there have been any messing around, or would he have just got the job
Oh no,
done?
he would
killed
have
it?
just done it immediately. I don't
Yeah.
even think he let that man say a word. I think he would gone through those group of walkers with the herd, the circling, the chair dance is what I call it.
Yes.
They wouldn't even rip that mask off that dude's face. I think he would just be like, nope, and he would just, you know,
Done it. Yeah.
grab his gun or his knife, and it was done. He wouldn't even let the man
Yeah.
speak. And if he would
Mhm.
find them one in the cellars, they would be dying in that corner that they were sitting in. He would not
Yeah.
let them live at all. But I think a lot of things would have been different if Simon was still in there.
Yeah.
I mean, Sanctuary would still be standing, and that would probably be the new Alexandria, because Simon warned Negan for all of this to happen, and it did happen, and Negan never listened to him. So I think if that would have happened and he would have listened to Simon, then Negan would have still have the Saviors. They could have maybe collided and become a big group with Alexandrians and Saviors becoming one group, which Simon would have never let that happen. But, you know, that would have been a possibility. Then, you know, Hilltop would probably still standing. Sanctuary would still be standing. Alexandria wouldn't be burned. Negan probably didn't have to shag Alpha. You know, so I think there's a lot of things that would have been gone different, but that's because if you look at the things that Simon did and how he dealt with things, be like, okay, you're a threat, you're just gonna all die, and he just killed all them communities out, just leave one or two alive, just to tell the tale. You know, it's hard to say, because, you know, there's a couple of characters that I think what would it be like if they would still be in here? One of them is Dale. Well, Dale's been gone since episode 2, hasn't he? But that man, he could read people. He knew what Shane was doing. Doing. He could read people, and you know, there's so many people that I'm thinking like, what would have happened? Like, I think you and I had this question before a long while ago. If Merle would have been in the Saviors. In the Saviors in that episode, in that season, Mel would have been a savior.
Yes.
He would have stepped sides. He would have. Mel would have become a whisperer. You know, and there's so many, you know, that I think story could have gone so differently. I think if Rick actually watched his child, Cole would still be alive.
Yeah.
I blame Rick for Cole's death. I do, because he was too busy fighting war with Negan that he did not know that his son was sneaking out of the house, bringing back other people, because that he saved what was his name?
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Sadiq.
Yeah.
Because of Carl saving Sadiq is why he got bitten.
Yeah, and I mean that whole, I know we've talked about this before, but that whole kind of episode and that build up to who was actually going to get bit and all of that was quite good how they did it, wasn't it, with the teaser trailer.
If Daryl didn't have slapped Negan in the face, Glenn would have been still alive. So, you know, there's so many things that I'm thinking, what if? But it's always the what if.
It's always the what if, yeah, because it sends them down different paths. I mean, what if Maggie and Negan actually get together?
Duh.
Because I don't even want to think about that. That just gave me the goosebumps. But it's the same thing with like what I didn't like about Aaron in this episode is like, it's a whisperer. We can't trust him, and he looks at Lydia. Does that mean you don't trust Lydia? Because I think Lydia sacrificed enough to be trusted. But it's just the way that, because you all seen that, right? That it immediately turned to Lydia when Aaron said it's a whisperer, they can't be trusted, and it immediately zoomed in on Lydia.
Yeah,
She was a whisperer at one point.
exactly. But
Yeah.
she did
That's what
say
you're
about
saying.
that other girl, didn't she? About, well, you trusted her. I can't think of what her name is now, but the other girl that was a whisperer.
Mary, that was the Omega one,
Yeah,
which I later found out was the little girl, played the little girl in Hocus Pocus.
she did look familiar actually.
She's the little girl from Hocus Pocus.
But yeah, I mean, I would say it was a good episode. There was a lot more going on in episode 4. I think, yes, episode 4, we needed it because we needed to meet the Pope and we needed to understand what he's like, what he's capable of. It was
basically
Hi, come on.
also that point with Pope and Daryl on the sofa talking was another throwback. Do you know which one?
No, I can place it.
Negan and Carl.
Oh, okay.
Shush! No.
On the was it the Sing Me a Song episode?
Absolutely. When Carl was sitting there and he's like, "Can I see your ass sucking? That looks damn nasty."
That was his good Neganisms, though, wasn't it? I mean, I did find those episodes quite funny actually because of
Negan was funny. He brought some sense of humor in it. I mean, you know what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't have kids. If you hate Rick, then why don't you go kill him yourself? Oh, you did have guts. They were inside you the whole time. You know, that was funny. And with the Beach Bowl size Lady Nuts with Sasha. And, you know,
Yeah.
it was good.
Do you think, talking about Negan, do you think he's got much more fight left in him, just as a individual on his own journey?
No.
Do you think?
I think Negan's coming to an end. I think he's getting tired, because constantly he's trying to help. He's trying to be redeemed. We already know he's got his redemption in our eyes as a viewer's point.
Yeah.
But I think he's just going to be, at one point, he's going to be, you know what, fuck it. Doesn't matter what I'm saying. You're not doing what I'm saying. It's going to turn out wrong at one point. And he's just going to be like, I told you so, and walk away. At least that was what I would do. If I would tell you 6 times, don't do it, because it's going to end bad. And on the 7th time it ends bad, I would just turn my back on it and I would walk away. I wouldn't even give them the time of day anymore.
No, and I wondered actually why he didn't still leave. You know, even though Gabe was like, "We'll wait." Why
did they not
didn't
take
they-
all his weapons? And Maggie's got all the food. He's only got a crowbar. How is he gonna hold up?
But he was going to take some food back. Surely they could say, "Well, I'll take some back with me."
Gabriel is not gonna let him get. Maggie might, at this point. Gabriel ain't gonna do it. Because now Gabe's there, but we don't forget about the godless god thingy guy.
Wouldn't it be interesting if at some point Gabe has a meeting face-off with the Pope because of the
I
fact
think that's
that
gonna happen,
connection?
because Daryl said that the man that was the leader was a priest. He said that in episode 4. So they think Gabriel is the leader of Alexandria, which would be a man of God against a man of God, which God's not here, God is here. Maybe they're gonna have an epic rap battle about God and Jesus,
That might be quite interesting, mightn't it? In terms of a bit of
Pike disagrees because Pike says it's going to be an episode quoting the Bible for 45 minutes. I'll be falling asleep. I'll go to church myself.
yeah.
Probably more entertaining.
So I wonder, like, the other question we were saying just whilst we were on a bit of an interlude there, Reina, was about Connie, and in terms of knowing that episode 8 is going to be the last one in this chunk of episodes, a kind of mid-season, well, a third of the way through season finale, whether we are going to see Connie before episode 8 or during episode 8, or if it's going to be a cliffhanger. in terms of, you know, we know she's there, but are they ever going to find her? Do you think she's going to appear before episode 8, before the
I
end?
don't think Connie is going to be a cliffhanger because Connie already has been a cliffhanger before.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see her next week or the week after. I think next episode will be, because they mentioned Connie, and every time we said we hope to see someone in the next episode, it actually happened, didn't it?
Yes.
So I think we're going to see Connie with that Sergio dude in wherever they are. And I think we are going to see back with the trial, which what the punishment's going to be at the
Eugene.
Commonwealth. Yes. And I think we're going back to Daryl and the Pope. Because Alexandria, at this point, there's nothing to say over there. Because the Whisperers is gone. They're going to go look for Connie, which is already being covered if Connie and Sergio are going to be in the episode. So I think it's going to be Connie and Sergio, Pope and Daryl and that bunch, and the trial, because I'm quite interesting because Stephanie said you're going to be punished either way. What will the punishment be? Eating cakes.
Or Stephanie saying, "I don't love you really, Eugene." That would crush
Stephanie.
him, wouldn't it? That would
Eugene,
be.
I actually have to tell you a secret. My real name is actually Stefan.
But Eugene might not care at that point because he thinks he's found the love of his life. Even when he was following up the steps, you know, when they were going up to find the radio room, the comms room.
He
and
was so
real
cute. He
cheeky.
was like looking at her eating ice cream and he'd been all smiley and like
I know,
this.
I
It was
know,
so cute.
I know.
Oh, to come back, you thinking that they two have something in common? The weird hairdo guy. What was his name? Hornsby.
Oh yes.
And I think it's her brother. You know.
Well, I think there is a connection there. I do think there is a connection, which maybe, you know, she might not reveal immediately, but I'm just thinking that there might be something, because, you know, she went off to be punished, but then she's being treated as a resident. She's going to be treated differently anyway because she's been there for a while.
Yeah,
But
I think
something.
I think something's gonna go wrong in Commonwealth, and then because you know what? So is she gonna take her brother back home, or is he gonna stay? Yuki, what's her name? Yumiko, yeah. It's like, is she gonna try and is she gonna stay there because her brother is there, and her brother obviously had a son. Didn't we not hear it? Dad, we've got a customer. So he's got a family, her brother.
Yeah.
Because the dude that came in first is probably his son. Because she walked into that store and she looked around and we heard, Dad, there's someone in the store. So her brother's got a whole family going on there.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, and I guess if she's going to be treated with some kind of higher, you know, superiority or something because she was a lawyer and everything, and she's got a family there, she might be torn, mightn't she? She might want to stay, but I guess it depends on how things unfold and what might be revealed in terms of the reality. But then surely her brother would have said, you know, because it's his sister, surely he would have told the truth and been like, oh, well, actually, no, I'm just getting by, you know, we're doing all of this, but actually, you know, unless he's just into the whole kind of fairy tale land of this.
Maybe they're all brainwashed or something with that video that they watched. They all brainwash them and that they don't know what's going on. You don't know. We've seen worse things in those. It's not the first time a brainwash technique's being used in a TV show.
No, that's true. That's true. Okay, so I guess to round up the discussion today then, in terms of both episodes, because obviously, you know, we'll treat this as kind of two, episodes 4 and 5, because we've got Daryl as well. Who would be your standout character, as in the strongest, most favourable character, in your opinion, from episodes 4 and 5 combined? And doesn't have to be a favourite one, but, you know, the strongest standout character for you. I mean, part of me is feeling I'm drawn to say Negan in a way, just because it's his willpower. He's very much still honouring his truth, isn't he? He's not backing down from what he believes, although I do think he's getting tired from it. So I wouldn't say physically strong with it, but he's getting a bit peed off with it all. But he is still saying, you need to trust me. You want to survive, don't you? I want to take the food back to Alexandria. So I would actually say, for me, potentially Negan, and also little Judith, just for that inner strength that she's showing, you know, on the surface, if you like.
Yeah.
For episode 4, I'd say the one that stand out for me was the Pope, because he did make an impression.
Oh, dang that accent.
As in, he is absolutely someone we need to be very, very careful with. This is a man that is more sadistic than he shows.
Oh yeah.
Episode 5, I'd say it's definitely Judith with the bullying, just because that hit me on a personal note. Because I do believe that kids need to needs to dare and stick up for themselves when they are being bullied.
Yes.
And need to get help and have that support from an adult or an elder one that when they break down. So I really think it's really important that they actually put this bullying inside. And now I'm going to make this a hashtag saying #stop bullying, #stop internet bullying and all that. You're not in the episode. And I think for not only Judith, oh Jesus.
I think he's saying Daryl. He's saying Daryl.
Yeah, no.
No. Negan. Is it Pike? Oh, it's Pike. No, I think it's just Pike. Shut up. Jesus, you're annoying today. I think it's been Judith for me in 5.
Yes.
And there was another one.
The Pope.
No, he wasn't in 5.
He wasn't. No.
The Pope in
Pope in 4, 5 Judith, and I do think Eugene, because he stuck up for himself and said, this is not what we came here for. We came here with purpose.
Yeah.
We came here for food and refugee for our own community. We need to help Alexandria, no matter how pretty it is down here, how pretty and everything that they've got down here. We need to go back home. And I think that for the first time in all them seasons, except for All Out War, Eugene showed some balls, even with the weird haircut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your hair is fake, but you showed balls, Eugene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Noortje, what do you think?
I will be completely with Reina on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I must say about the Pope, I hate his accent. Like, it was annoying.
Yes.
Like, I was like, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
I want to punch you in the face if you don't shut up. But
yeah. I do agree with what Reina said about him being very sadistic, and I don't think we've seen everything.
Yeah.
No, I think this is not even the beginning. This
Yeah.
wasn't even.
No.
This was just like a tiny little bit. Like, there's so much more to come to this dude.
Yeah.
And I wonder where he comes from, because this accent. I wonder, because he's not an American, is he? I think he's like Scottish or something, isn't he?
Oh no, it's American, but there's some twang to it. It's like
Okay.
yeah.
I wondered where he came from.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
different American kind of twang to it, but
Hilly Billy. He's from Virginia.
but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens in the next episode. But yeah, we'll wrap it up for today's discussion.
I apologize to everyone who's listening for their ear rapes because of my dog. I'm really sorry.
He's got things to say. And then the little doggy that's down here that I'm looking after this week, my parents' little doggy, I need to go and feed her because she keeps looking at me. She's probably hearing Pike going, I can hear a dog. Where's the dog?
Yeah, Pike never does this during the day. I don't know what's up with him.
He's wanting to be part of it. But no, thank you so much, both of you, for obviously being part of the discussion. and we've got episode 6, next week. We'll see what comes out of that. And, anyone else watching, again, because Reina asked the question in terms of Aaron, join the discussion with that. Do you think Aaron was in the right, did he do the right thing when Keith, the Whisperer, Keith? And any other views on anything else we've shared, Connie's return. Do we trust what's going on at the Commonwealth? Was that a bit too good to be true? Did it also remind you of Woodbury?
Yeah.
Woodbury. What is it?
Commonwealth, Wonderland or Horrorland?
Yeah, there's something not quite right. And also, Stephanie, is she still trustworthy? Fully?
I go with fully. I stand with my choice.
Yeah.
I don't go with fully. I think she did help Eugene, but I think there's something else. And I think she is connected to that guy. There's just something.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's her brother.
So we'll see. And then we'll also see if Princess and
Esther is gonna get
it on.
like Negan would say.
Is she gonna get tangoed? That's the thing.
Would Mercer keep his socks on or not?
Oh, good me. Wow. That's the thing, isn't it? Because again, choices. You don't know if different characters were in those situations. I mean, come on.
He's gonna keep that stormtrooper suit on.
Oh.
No.
Oh. I mean, like, if he had to do what Negan did, he probably would have done it. Would Simon have done it, Reina?
No, he would have taken his socks off at least.
Oh my God. I still don't understand why they kept them on. This has come up in other podcasts like so many times, because I really don't understand why you would keep them on when the rest of you's naked.
Well, maybe there's like little bugs or something in the leaves, and you don't want them between your teeth.
Well,
but you don't want them in your socks either.
The bug could like crawl up your leg into other places, though, couldn't
This
they?
is true, and he says they were standing the whole time, right? So let's not make it worse.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I really don't know. Like, this is still an actual thing going on in the Walking Dead groups, because I'm in a lot of them on Facebook and stuff, and they actually still talk about this.
Yeah, I'm always bringing it up. Yeah.
It's still very actual, actually. In the Facebook groups on Instagram, it's still a discussion here and there. Like, what were you thinking? See, I don't know. I mean, the socks. I wonder what color they were. Were they always that color, or were they white? Because white socks are even worse,
It was just, when that happened in that episode, I remember thinking, oh no, why are you doing that?
Well, maybe it was just a mistake, because didn't they not have a watch in Troy, but someone was still wearing a watch? Maybe it was supposed to have a sock off.
Also, and this is going to be a bit, close, I was going to say close to the bone here, but he must have been turned on by her to have been able to have gone through with that, even if he was doing it for,
See, that's what I have been thinking, is because his wife was bold and basically turned into a walker, which she basically kind of looked like Alpha. So what if he just imagined it was his bold wife?
Yeah, to get him through it, to get him through the act.
I mean, I would not get it up if someone stands in front of me and be like, we're always watching. No, it's just no.
It's a bit like, okay, so if it was Beta as an example, if he was the leader of the Whisperers and then you were like the leader,
No.
would you have, with Beta, would you have actually done that?
I would have kept everything on and not just my socks. No.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, hell no. No, absolutely not. Like, see, I know other characters with no, not Beta.
But
I prefer,
different.
I would even prefer being eaten alive by walkers, I guess, with mustaches.
Well, I won't,
You with your damn mustaches.
exactly.
Come
and
on.
I won't ask you who you would have done that with, because I think it's pretty obvious. I think there's
Yeah.
probably two.
I mean, I think everyone. Well, you know what? There's been a couple of people in the Walking Dead that be like, you know what? You look cute. There's been a couple of them, not gonna lie. Nobody is as good as my favorite, but I wouldn't mind Negan, or like Spencer wasn't really ugly dude, wasn't he? He was just annoying, but
Yeah.
he was a lovely bloke to look at. It's the same
Mm.
with Alden, only he kind of has a baby face. But there's
Yeah.
there's a couple of people who we've had in the walking. He's like, you know what? I'd like to eat a biscuit with that one.
Prison Rick for me.
Which one was that? Was that the one with the beard?
So yeah, so like season 3, season 4, Rick was probably the ultimate Rick for me. Yeah.
Right. See, you know what? Like with Negan, I would say not the bearded Negan. So not the prison Negan.
No.
That was
No.
too much facial hair.
Too much, yeah.
And I've met him twice with having that much facial hair. I would not go by completely shaven Negan because I like facial hair. I can't help it. I just like a little bit of a stubble or a weird mustache. But it's that shaven Negan didn't do it for me. I think the best Negan look that I think is the look that he had now.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we first met Negan.
Yeah.
I think like this Negan. I think that's one of the best looks that he had.
Yeah, definitely.
Rick, oh no, I never got hot or cold of him ever.
No.
Definitely not of Daryl. No.
No, Rick for me, but also Negan as well. So when it was the two against each other, I was a bit like, oh, who do I choose? Because I like them both,
I did like the dude from Terminus though, Jareth. He was cute.
Oh, yeah, but villain.
Just because I know him from other shows like Once Upon a Time. He was kind of cute, but nobody is as good as Mr. Og. Sorry, I can't. He's just always it's been him for the last 10 years, so and he wasn't even in The Walking Dead before that, so
no. Well, that's an interesting place to depart, because anyone else watching, who was your favorite character across the whole season, from 1 to 11 that we've got now? Who was your favorite character, really?
All the seasons. Oh my god. Season 1, definitely Dale.
Yeah.
And Jim, I liked Jim. Jim was fun. The one that they sat against the tree and died on the tree. He was fun, Jim.
Oh, it's a bit boring.
No, I thought he was quite fun. And then Dale, I liked him. And Herschel, of course, may he rest in peace. I liked Carol at one point, was one of my favorite characters of the season. I think there was a Terminus season because she blew up the whole Terminus.
Yeah, when she saved it.
You can better ask me which characters do you not like, because that's definitely Andrea. I never liked her, or Amy, her sister, or Ed, Carol's husband. I thought Sophia was highly annoying. She already ran away. She got killed doing that.
Do you with Andrea? Do you actually think Leah looks a bit like Andrea? Because she reminded me.
She does, with the blonde hair and that bun. Yeah, absolutely. Now you say that, I can actually get the resembles there.
So any viewers, drop us a comment and let us know your favorite. And also, as we mentioned in previous podcasts, the opening episode, because we focused obviously on the well, it was like a double opener, wasn't it? Episodes 1 and 2 was kind of Acheron parts 1 and 2 of this final season, and it just made us think of the other opening episodes of all the other seasons that's gone. So that would be a nice one to cover at some point, because we still say that season 7 was big because it was everybody in the woods on their knees, and who's going to get the wrath of Negan's Lucille. The build up to that and the actual episode itself was one of the best ones for the impact, I think. But feel free to drop us a comment, and we can cover other ones as well. In fact, we might do. We'll what
was your favorite walker? What walker in all the seasons stood out for you? Because every episode or every season had a particular walker that we still talk about, didn't it? Like Jadis with Spiky Walker with Winslow, or the Well Walker with Glenn being put them in the well, the
Yeah.
nasty
Which was
bad
great.
walker. That was disgusting. Or the first naked walker that was walking behind Simon and Dwight.
Can't remember that one.
That was when they went back to the place where they found Negan's car with all the blood.
Oh yeah.
They were contemplating if they was gonna look for Negan or if they was gonna leave, and then Dwight flinged his cigarette butts
Yes, I
into
remember
the car,
that.
and then behind that you see a walker, which is a woman. It's the first ever completely naked walker that they did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't realize she was, well, maybe at the time, but yeah, it wasn't a memorable walker for me. But yeah, do comment, like, share and subscribe. As always, really appreciate the support because it helps get it out there to other people in the Walking Dead family that might be interested to hear our views and also to give your views, really. So thank you very much, both of you, for taking part today. Really appreciate your time, and lovely to meet you as well. So it's really, really great, and this will be available on YouTube. Obviously, I will put it on there, but we do love to hear your comments. So please feel free to comment below, and if you agree with us, then that's great, but you might not. And there might be people out there that love Eugene's plat, but I'm not one of them.
No. Don't forget to look us up on
not.
Instagram and Twitter, and comment, like, share, follow, subscribe, all of that. Share with your friends, share with your grandma, share with your grandpa, share with your dog. Pike was a special guest today. Thank you all, Pike.
Yes, yeah. By the window, love it. Yeah, love it. So it's been a special podcast today because obviously there's 3 P's in this podcast, as I mentioned earlier, but also we've got a 4th one because Pike wanted to be heard. So as he does now. But no, that's really great. So thank you everyone so much, and look forward to speaking to you again. Take care.
Yes.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.